All right. Hello and good morning, everyone. And welcome to our today's exciting session, where we'll be talking about how to measure email marketing performance, but that too beyond opens and clicks. My name is Smita, and I'm working with Niche Software Solutions as a marketing manager, and I handle the marketing of our email marketing tool called Juvlon. So before we begin today's session, I have few housekeeping announcements as usual. Please note that the session is being recorded and will make the link available of the recorded session with everyone post the webinar. We have kept everyone on mute to ensure that any background noise and conversations are kept private. So in case if you have to ask any questions, please make use of the question box or the chat window which you have just used and typed in to let me know if I'm audible. To you can put in your questions, your comments, your suggestions, whatever you want us to have a look at. You can put it over there and we'll try to attend the questions after the webinar. In case if we are not able to attend all the questions, please note that these questions will be taken offline and we'll answer them either through email or by a phone call. All right, let's get started. A quick glance at the agenda that what we are going to talk about today. We'll see why to go beyond opens and click rates. We have been talking about opens and clicks throughout our life, if I'm not wrong. So let's see what is it that I felt we should go beyond opens and clicks. Okay, if we have to go beyond open and click, what is there? What is there beyond opens and clicks? And we'll also talk about what role Google Analytics play when we talk about email tracking and its performance. Friends, we have a very exciting and a knowledgeable speaker today with us, Abhishek Agarwal, who is an ex-Googler, and he will be talking about how Google Analytics plays an important role in email marketing and its performance. A little bit about Abhishek. Abhishek has over 8 years of experience in digital marketing and e-commerce in India. With a 4-year stint at Google India and successful exit from digital media startup in Pune, he's got the go-to man for any organization or startup planning to launch their e-commerce venture. So friends, if you are thinking of launching any e-commerce business, Abhishek is there to help you. He's also helped a number of startups set up their digital marketing teams and scale their business significantly through marketplace and content marketing initiatives. He's also got his hands in raising funds to bootstrap startups. There's an interesting thing about what he believes. He believes raising funds is not success point for a startup, but scaling a business exponentially, sorry, post funding is the success story. I'm so sorry. Another interesting part attached to his profile is that he loves beaches and he's been to Goa every 3 months since last 3 years. That's really exciting. I mean, even I would love to have this kind of a profile where people go to Goa every 3 months in 3 years, every 3 years. Abhishek, would you like to say a hello to our audience?
Hello everybody, a very good morning. Very excited to be part of Juvlon webinar.
Yeah.
I'll be sharing a few thoughts maybe in a while. Thank you.
Yeah. Friends, I'll be inviting Abhishek again in a while to discuss Google Analytics and email marketing. Till then, please bear with me. Okay. I'll be talking a little bit about why to go beyond open and click and what is there beyond open and click. So, why should we go beyond opens and clicks? As a marketers, especially when we play a role of email marketer, we spend a lot of our time talking about rates. We are completely focused on looking at rates like open rates, probably click-through rates. We also have a look at the delivery rates. But you know what? I believe that if we might start, if we are focusing too much on these kind of rates, we may start making bad decisions just because we are solely focusing on these rates. I'm not saying that we should not consider these or stop looking at them completely, but focusing only on these rates might probably land us in making a bad decision. These After a lot of reading and research, I realized that these are three basic reasons which give me a reason to look beyond opens and clicks. So for years, marketers have always trusted on open and link click through. So when we say click through, it is link click through rates. We also look at unsubscribes. We also look at abuse complaints like spams. And these are the means of measuring success of the campaigns. The problem is probably these metrics do not always tell the complete story because they are measuring the performance of probably one email campaign. If you are only interested in results of one campaign, then it's fine. I mean, you can just go through and measure only these kind of opens and clicks. But if the customers and relationship exists over time, customers don't see a single email campaign, but a sequence of email communication that they interact with over time. So we have seen email automation webinar also, how we plan to keep on sending lots of regular emails in a series and keep our audience engaged. So our audience keeps on receiving a series of emails. So a campaign click rate or an average campaign click rate does not say how the customers are interacting as a whole. So they do not tell or they do not always tell the complete story. Second and the third point is again very important and crucial, that email success metrics are not directly aligned to business drivers. Having a great open rate or a click through will not generally generate a revenue for your business. Just give it a thought that you've executed an email campaign and you've received a wonderful open and click rate. Now that doesn't mean that we'll be pressurizing our sales to get in more revenue. So they're not directly aligned to the business, especially to the revenue. In fact, you know what, small business marketers, the ones with whom we are interacting or they call us regularly to know more about measuring email performance, they try to reach more for meaningful metrics, metrics that go beyond click through, and how to measure email campaigns that are driving basically sales and generating revenue. So they're not directly aligned to business. They do not completely tell you how email campaigns are driving sales and generating revenue. So people want to know how it's basically going to help them. So what is beyond opens and clicks? Time metrics is basically a very important metrics that we have to pay attention to. Time of the day, the report, time of day report and day of a week report will help you understand when your audience is actually reading your emails. Now, this will vary from industry to industry, but it will give you a good idea of when is a best day of basically sending your campaigns. Like for example, when I promote webinar invitations, I have seen I receive a good number of opens and clicks, especially when I send these on Fridays. I receive a good number of registrations for the webinar also on Fridays, and that too typically between post lunch and 6 p.m. So Fridays are the time when generally the people in office, they try to find out more time for their own reading, for research, for to know more, to upgrade their knowledge. So that's where I feel that webinar invitations gain more attention and they are more interested and keen on registering for the webinar. So I've been sending my webinar invitation, at least the first invitation, I make it a point that I send it on Friday. So it's really very important to understand the time metrics. The next metrics is list metrics. So has your list of subscribers grown over the last few quarters? So are these email addresses correct? Have we scrubbed them for hard bounces? Probably how many readers in your list have never opened your emails in last 1 year? 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. So when we ask these questions and track these reports, it's interesting to see how engaged our audience really is and what quality of audience we really have. So it's not only the quality of emails that we are sending, but the quality of the audience also. Are they a good match for what we have to offer? Are they interested in your products and services? So it's really very important to know these three list metrics also. Just recently, I came across this email. I had subscribed to HubSpot blogs. I'm a regular reader and a visitor of HubSpot blogs, but I generally visit their blog directly. So probably I had some time back hold on. Our session is again full house today, so I'm just getting this prompts and I'm okay, disallowing that. Okay, so back to the webinar. I was focusing on this example. So probably I didn't read or I did not interact with any email that HubSpot was sending to me, though I was getting their updates while visiting on their website. So this is the email that I received recently saying that we already are missing you, so we'll be signing you off from our subscription list. But still, if you want to go ahead and subscribe, go ahead and resubscribe. But I just wanted to see what exactly happened, so I have not resubscribed and I have not received any email from HubSpot. So it's really good to very politely take off people, those who are receiving your emails but have not interacted with them. So just in the last point that I mentioned in my earlier slide, that we have to pay attention to list growth, correct email address, and never opens. Okay. Then comes the comparative reports. There are various comparative reports that we can look at. So we can compare between one campaign and the other. I've taken a live example of one of the email campaigns that I had done a couple of months back. In blue, you will see the first mailer that I had sent. So this was one of the storytelling webinar that we did, and this was the follow-up email that I had sent to everyone, requesting them to check the recording of the webinar. Now, it so happened that by mistake, I did not change the link of the earlier, it was a wrong URL basically that I had set. And I realized it and I did a second round after 2 days. And you can see the difference between the two subject lines. First was read the story and hear the recording, and the second was oops, please pardon for our mistake. And you can obviously see the unique views and the clicks that I have received. So you can see what kind of subject lines are appealing to your audience, what exactly is going to make a big difference to your opens and clicks. So a comparative report. On the right hand side, you'll find another screenshot that I have shared. So it's not only the subject lines that matter. It also we have to also check what exactly is in the emails working. So what kind of link titles are working? Is it check it, continue reading, register now, or what kind of a content and the links behind it are working? So a comparative report is definitely a must, which is beyond opens and clicks. Of course, this does count open and click, but we have to go a little bit more beyond that also. And then the next point is about the content engagement, the time spent on the landing page or the website. So every email campaign that we basically do, we take them to the landing page or to a website. So what happens beyond that? Okay, we've checked how engaging the users are, the subscribers are. So let's go a little bit more beyond the email now. We are exiting the email and going towards the landing page and websites. We want to see over here that how many people actually landed on the website or the landing pages. So that's the page sessions, and how long did they stay on your website or the landing page. So the maximum time they've spent on your websites or landing pages means your content is really interesting. If it is not so interesting, you have to find out ways to make it more engaging. So that's one another important factor that we have to count. So how do we count this engagement on our website and landing pages? So this is where the Google Analytics come into picture. So it's an integration with Google. I've just shared one quick screenshot of how Juvlon helps you in creating this integration. So basically, this is a UTM parameter that is being created. It's a URL that gets created with the UTM tagging. You can see it over here that juvlon.com, and there's an entire UTM link that is created. So this is how email marketing can be tracked in Google Analytics also. So we've seen a couple of points, like we have to find out time metrics, list metrics. We have to see how we have to compare the campaign performance with each other. There are lots of other factors to find out how engaging the content is also. From here onwards, I'll hand the baton to Abhishek, as it is about Google Analytics, and he will take over to help us understand how we can use Google Analytics to measure email campaigns. Over to you, Abhishek.
Thanks, Smita. A lot of insights there already. And again, thanks a lot to all of you in the audience for wholehearted participation. I think it's wonderful to hear Smita say that we have a full house again. Uh, Coming back to our topic about how we can tag our URLs, how we can actually create a email campaign which not only gives us data or knowledge about what's been the open or click-through rate, but how has it impacted our business? How have the audience or our users, uh, you know, really interacted with the email campaign that we have shot. So this URL builder actually helps you, get complete insights about the source of the users who have come to your website, right? So the broad usage of the URL builder tool is not just for your email marketing campaigns.
Abhishek,
This can
I'll
actually
just interrupt you for a moment, please. I'm so sorry. If you can just switch to the slideshow mode of your presentation, the slides will be have better
is it
visibility.
visible now? I'm so
Perfect.
sorry for that.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was telling all of you that the URL builder tool can actually be used for various kinds of marketing. It can be used for your email marketing campaigns. It could be used for your affiliate marketing. Even PPC ads can have these. This basically helps you understand the source of the traffic that you're receiving on your website, what campaigns are bringing you more traffic, and if your campaign has multiple options to click on the ad. Let's say for a mailer, it's possible that you have a top banner and then you have a button called buy now, and at the end you are actually explaining an offer that we have a Diwali promotion or a Diwali offer going on. These are the terms and conditions. You get 50% off if you buy about 2,000 rupees. And then there can be a lot more terms and conditions which you don't want to really put on your mailer, but you can say click here to know more. So that can be a second call to action. So you would want to know how many people are clicking on second call to action versus the first call to action, which was buy now. So that can be distinguished from the UTM content. So broadly, as you see on the slide, there are five different parameters that can be tracked using a URL builder. So it can be a source, it could be medium, it could be the campaign, it could be the term, and it could be the actual content, right? So what we'll do is, this was a theoretical part of it. Let's actually, switch and try and do it live. Actually go to the Google URL. So I hope all of you are able to see my screen now. I have just switched from the presentation mode to a live environment.
Yes, Abhishek, the screen is visible.
Great. So now this is basically if you type on your Google search bar URL builder Google, you'll actually get this link. You'll come to this page, and we are actually wanting to create a URL for a website. Let's say www.experienceether.com. So that's the homepage of this women's wear apparel website, experienceether.com. Now, let's say I'm running a campaign for this brand called Ether to promote, let's say, uh, a Diwali sale, right? So I can name the campaign source as, so I'm gonna do it through a mailer, right? A mailer or a newsletter. So let me say Diwali underscore mailer. So under campaign source, after entering the website URL, I'll enter under campaign source Diwali mailer. Now the next parameter that the system is asking me is campaign medium. So here we are not using CPC ads or AdWords or Facebook ads. We are using email marketing, right? So the campaign medium would be email, right? And now let's scroll down and let's see what we have. It says a campaign term, right? So campaign term is not a mandatory field. If you see the first two options, it says star, so it's mandatory. Campaign term is generally used when you are using these, tagging options for Google AdWords for any paid keywords. So let's say if I was saying I am running an ad on Google and I want to track how many clicks I'm getting through keywords. buy party dresses, right? So then I would enter there. But for email marketing, I would not really require the campaign field, the campaign content, and the campaign name. I think campaign name is again mandatory field. Let me enter that first. So the campaign name is, it's a promotional campaign, right? So I can write promotion underscore. I can mention the code. So Diwali 50, I'm giving 50% off. So I'll say Diwali 50. So this is a very important field, and make sure the campaign name is always unique so that you can track the performance of each campaign. Let's say even if you're sending the same campaign on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, that's like Smita was saying, she's going to invite participants for this webinar. She would send pretty much the same campaign multiple times, but it's still important to track, uh, you know, uh, participants invitation underscore Tuesday, participants invitation underscore Thursday. So it is important to track what results you got from each of these mailers that are shot out, right? So that's a campaign name. And finally, campaign content. Like I said, if there are multiple call to actions, we can name it call underscore to underscore action one for the first call to action, and for the second one, it can be call to action two, right? And the most important part is click on generate URL. Let's see what we have. Perfect. So do you see this? It's very small, but this is the end result, that we are looking for. I have highlighted in blue. So it says www.experienceether.com/ and then after that there's a question mark. So that question mark is the part which is part of the URL which has been encoded, right? So there you see we have got a URL which gives us the source, Diwali mailer, medium, email, content is call to action one, and the campaign is promotion underscore Diwali 50. So without even knowing coding, without knowing anything about coding, I'm able to create a URL which is encoded and will still give me perfectly all the results or all the actions I want to track from a mailer campaign, right? So that was a live example that I did for you. Smita will be sharing the link with you. She's, I think, already shared over the chat, right? So going back to our presentation, I'll just take you to the next slide. How to use a URL builder. We have already gone through it. I'll quickly give you a brief again. So it can be used for an email marketing campaign, or it could be used for a paid search campaign. For an email marketing campaign, the source can be newsletter, mailer. For a paid search campaign, if you're using it, will be Yahoo, Google, Facebook, and so on and so forth, right? And the campaign medium for a paid search would be CPC. For email marketing, it would be email. Campaign term, again, it's not required honestly for an email marketing campaign unless you specifically want to track something. It's like a free field. And paid search term, you enter the search query which is for which you're giving the URL. Content will be the call to action 1, 2, 3, and the campaign name. So I named the Diwali promotion 50. For a paid search campaign, you can actually say search underscore dresses because that's a campaign for which I'm using a common URL. Moving on from here, please note that all of these results after encoding and after somebody clicks on the URL that you have shared on the mailer, it will appear in a Google Analytics page. So it's important to have a Google Analytics account, and there is a snippet of code that we receive from Google Analytics when we create the account. That has to be pasted on every page of your website. I would repeat, it's every page of your website, right from the home page till the thank you page once the conversion is over. Let's say if you have only one page, you're an insurance company or you are a real estate company, you're just wanting to get leads from a single page, please make sure it's there at least on that page. Okay. Now we know how to track, but what do we track? We can track buttons, call to action within the mailer. We can track banner click-throughs. So if you have multiple banners in the email, let's say experienceether.com has dresses, tops, skirts. So they promote all of this within one mailer. So they would want to know how many people actually clicked on dresses, how many clicked on tops and went to tops, how many clicked on skirts. So we can track the banner click-throughs from various URLs, and that can be tracked, right? So the other thing you can track from a mailer is calls. Of course, our link tagging will not help you for calls, but give a unique number, right? You have a support line, but let's say I'm doing an email marketing campaign. Let me give a separate mobile number and see how many calls I'm getting for this campaign, right? Emails. Are you seeing the number of incremental email responses for that day? Are you seeing more queries? So let's say for a SaaS-based company, I'm a software company, right? I may not get a conversion, a sale or a lead, maybe a lead, but I'm getting more inquiries via emails. I'm interested in a software. Can you tell me the price of the software? So I would want to see the software aspects as well. And social posts, right? Are more people sharing about it? So let's not have a very narrow vision to the success of our email marketing campaigns. It's important to observe the other, communication points as well with the audience. So please keep in mind all of these, what to track, right? Uh, I think Smita shared, a few pointers on this. I would quickly want to run through a few more things I had in mind. So how do we segment our list, right? So we have a database of, let's say, over a period of a year collected of 10,000 emails, right? Or various users. So I would want to know how many users have joined in the last 1 month as against last 1 year, right? The time frame since when they're associated with the company. What kind of activity they did, right? Whether they just came to the home page and bounced off, and they just entered the URL or uh, their email to subscribe now button, or whether they actually went to the cart and did not buy, or whether they are actually you know customer who's bought from us, right? People who have bought from us, I could segregate them into people who have bought tops, who have bought skirts, people who have purchased multiple times, people who have purchased one time. So there's various ways in which you can slice and dice your email marketing list, and that really helps you in framing customized messaging to these audience when you're creating your email marketing campaigns. Again, while creating the email marketing campaigns, it can be divided into various segments, right? Is it a promotional campaign like I was designing now, right? Diwali hai, Black Friday hai. So I want to give some offers, give some discounts. Is it transactional? What kind of category? Am I looking at somebody to buy? Is my call to action buy now? Or is it something like on-demand service? Is it something related to, I'm scheduling it for a day in future, So paid, not paid. So these are the various categories in which you can segregate your email campaign and put your subscribers into each of these, right? Because once you design the campaign, then you want a subscriber list. Okay, I want these many people who will be willing to buy from me. So I'll use those email marketing lists for these kind of email marketing campaigns. Moving on from here, I think what behaviors to track on Google Analytics, right? So now we know how to slice and dice our list. What do we do to track these users? But what is the metric I will go and see on Google Analytics, because it's a huge dashboard. There are so many things that you see at one glance. So it's important we have a clear vision of things that we want to track, right? So always every campaign that we do has a macro conversion, right? The macro conversion can be, for my website, it would be a sale, right? It could be, that's always clear to us, that this is my macro goal, or this is my most important goal for this email marketing campaign, right? So it's generally for me a sale of an insurance company. It could be a lead for again a real estate brand. It could be a lead for a blogger. It could be traffic, but it's important to know the micro conversion also. What is the other conversion? Am I happy if I get a lot of traffic also? What is my second? Am I looking at people interacting with my website? Is it okay if I get a lot more shares on Facebook? But it's important to know the macro conversion and the micro. What are we looking at, right? Uh, and both of these can be tracked from Google Analytics page. The other metric, and this is very important metric to track, is bounce rate. So what is a bounce? A bounce is, let's say I design my email marketing campaign, I say flat 50% off, and I take them to a page which shows 20 products but doesn't talk about any discount. So people bounce off from the page because they can't see the message which they saw in the email on the landing page, and they move away from the same page. They don't go to another page on the website. They don't, navigate away from that page. So that's called a bounce. They came to the website, landed on a page, and exited from the same page. They did not interact with my website anywhere. So that's called a bounce, and it is always measured in percentage. So if 100 people came to my website on the homepage after clicking on my ad, if 70 of them have left from the homepage itself, that's a 70% bounce rate, which is not a good number, right? We should try to keep it as low as possible. So bounce rate is a very important metric to know the success of your campaign in terms of, are you able to capture the audience? Are you able to engage the audience? Next is depth of visit. Again, it falls on a similar line. If they have not bounced, how further down the website have they gone? Have they gone from the home page to only a category page? Have they actually seen 5 products? Have they seen 5 products and gone to the cart? Have they seen 5 products, gone to the cart, and could not check out because of payment error, or actually checked out? So it's important to know the depth of the visit, right? For a session, have they visited 5 pages, 6 pages, 7 pages, and Google Analytics broadly gives us the average of that. Let's say 100 people came to the page, 2.7, 3.8, 5.2 was the depth of the visit. Next is actions completed, right? Actions completed is the person of email campaign visits that submitted the form, right? The action for me, I was looking at on my homepage, on my landing page, I can have somebody to submit a form. I can have somebody to, refer somebody. I can have somebody to click on a video, maybe watch it or maybe not, but at least click on the video. So these are the various actions I'm expecting the people to complete, and this can very well be tracked on Google Analytics. That's a beautiful part. So Google Analytics is a very strong, you know, uh, sort of a tracking tool, and it can be exploited to get number-driven results for our business. We can actually back our assumptions by data if we know what to look in Google Analytics. So of course, let's start with bounce rates, depth of visits, conversion rate. All of this can be tracked. Again, to track a conversion, whether a sale has happened, whether somebody's filled a form, we need to create a goal, which is actually advanced analytics, right? So we'll not be able to cover that today. Probably let's keep that for a later session. Now, this is how you can see the data on Google Analytics, right? So if you see the screen, I have on the left hand side, once you log into Google Analytics account, you will see a tab on the left hand side called acquisition. Under acquisition, there are a lot of subheaders. Let's go to all traffic. So on the left hand side of my screen, if you see, I've highlighted in red. So all traffic, again, it has a drop down. We need to go and click on source and medium. So once we click on source and medium, do you see here newsletter / email? So all the traffic that I received under this category or under this source, which is newsletter, and the medium is email, which we define. There are 299 sessions, right? Again, this is for a certain time period. On Google Analytics, on the top right hand side, there is a date column. So you can always select whether you want to see the data for yesterday, for last 30 days, for last 6 months. You can see the performance of all the email marketing campaigns, or you can see of last week, last day, so on and so forth, right? So for this email marketing campaign, this is a sort of a couple of months data. There are 299 sessions, and you see here the bounce rate. Overall bounce rate of the website is 52%, and of this email marketing campaign is 40%. So somewhere if I do a comparative analysis, my email marketing campaigns are doing slightly better than overall performance of my website. So I'm doing something right on my email marketing campaign, which I might not be doing right on other avenues, other marketing channels, right? Similarly, pages per session, I have 2.86, whereas for my overall website, it's 3.25. So though my bounce rate is slightly better than the overall website average, pages per session is not that great. So maybe I'm not linking the right landing pages to the banners I'm putting up. Or maybe the same message that is shown in the banner is not being reflected on the landing page, right? Or my navigation is not too great. On homepage, people are not really sure after tops, what do I do? Or maybe the collection of my tops is not really enough. So there can be multiple reasons. That's the part where we need to, come up with all these assumptions. These are the possible reasons, and look at it like a user. So after pages per session, the next metric is average duration. So overall website, it's 3 minutes, right? But for newsletters, 1 minute 57 seconds. So definitely something I'm missing out here, right? Because my pages per session is low, and the average session duration is also low. So people are not really interacting enough, not spending enough time. All the users who are coming via email, right? Again, if you see here the transactions, I have not received a transaction, I have not received a conversion, but this depends on what database I'm using. Am I using an email database who has bought from me in the past? Is it I'm promoting on a database which I've just bought from the market, off the shelf? Or is it something which I have cultivated over the last 1 year? I've asked, spent marketing budgets and asked them to subscribe. So a lot of these things will depend on the nature of the database. But yes, of course, you can track the number of transactions, the conversion rate, and as much as the revenue as well from Google Analytics. Moving on from here, we saw in the previous slide how we can track the data from the overall channel level. How much, click-throughs, what were the sessions, what is the bounce rate at the email marketing, email channel level. Now let's look at a specific campaign, right? So how do we do that? Again, the same tab in Google Analytics on the left-hand side. click on acquisition, but instead of all traffic, this time we'll go to campaigns. There is something which is default setting there called campaigns, and click on all campaigns right below that. So once you click on all campaigns, you will come to a screen which has multiple tabs. You see campaign, source, media, source and media, others. So by default, this page comes to the campaign tab, which is here, if you can see my cursor. But I will go and click on source slash media. So you'll come to a page which has source slash media and the other metrics. Now, I would like to insert the campaign feed. It is not there by default. Please listen carefully. We'll have to select a secondary parameter, a secondary dimension will have to be selected. So, right below the graph, you will see secondary dimension. There, once you click on it, you will see a lot of parameters. You will see traffic, you will see sessions, you will see ad group ID, campaign ID, ad, so on and so forth. You need to just click on the drop down and select campaign. Once the campaign is selected, a new column is inserted by the tool and it names the various campaigns. Let's say newsletter slash email. The first campaign is make Google your fashion runway. Launch sale exclusively for Google. So this was sort of an activity done for internal Google employees where a huge, discount was offered to them and the newsletter was sent to them. So about 147 people came through this email marketing campaign, right? Again, newsletter email. Again, the campaign name here is Experience the World of High Street Fashion. Welcome to Ether. So we don't have right here what was the audience we targeted, but this campaign name was set by me. So definitely I would have in my Excel sheet this campaign name was given on such and such date to the list which was targeted via the database acquired via this channel, right? So this campaign had 131 sessions, new users were 106, the bounce rate was 46%. And again, if you actually expand the screen, you can see the other metrics as well. So that's how you can measure the performance of an email marketing campaign. And that's what Smita was focusing on, that we actually have to look beyond open rates, beyond click-throughs, and really deep dive into Google Analytics. Have that URL tagging in place. The URL builder is an important component of a marketer's life. That helps us really track the entire performance, the life cycle of a user, and end-to-end that can be tracked. But you need to have Google Analytics in place and use the URL builder very wisely. So people, I just had these thoughts to share from my end, and I'm open to any other questions and everything you have post the session. Smita, over to you.
Yes, Abhishek, thank you so much. That definitely was a very interesting information that you've shared, a very complex kind of information which is available on internet was made very simple by you. Thank you so much. Just give me a minute. I'll just change over the presentation mode back to me. Okay. So friends, we have heard Abhishek focusing and constantly saying that we as marketers need to focus mainly on getting these URL tagging in place. So as I had shared a screenshot of how Juvlon also helps in creating the URL tagging within Juvlon, also we have this facility where the UTM tagging gets created automatically. So go ahead and check that across again. So just a quick note on what is Juvlon. So Juvlon basically is an email and SMS marketing tool. It helps in improving customer engagement as it is mentioned on the screen. It basically also helps you in sending out personalized emails and email automation. So you can go ahead, take a free trial of Juvlon and check the email automation part of this powerful tool. Just to cover today's topic, the reports that can be generated out of Juvlon. You'll say that, Smita, you've been talking about lots of reports, but does Juvlon create those kind of reports? So here's a quick screenshot of the reports that are generated from Juvlon. On the left hand side, you'll find Juvlon does help you create time-wise. In fact, domain-wise and software-wise also you can check the reports. You can have a day-wise report. On the right-hand side, you'll find campaign-related reports where you can have a comparative report of all sort, day-wise, time-wise, domain-wise. You can also have separate opt-outs and so that you can manage your subscription list also. I have an exciting offer for all the webinar attendees today. We are extending 15% discount only specially for webinar attendees and people those who will be purchasing Juvlon after the free trial. Of course, I'll share more details about this post webinar in our follow-up email. So friends, with this, I'm opening the session for question and answer. There are lots of questions that have come in. Abhishek, there are lots of questions that have come in, especially for you, and people are requesting you to again check that UTM builder URL that you had with open in front of us. So would you like to take us back over there and explain exactly how this UTM URL builder looks like?
Sure, I
Sure.
can do
Yeah,
that.
give me a minute. I'll have to change you to a presenter. Yeah, so there you go. There are lots of other questions. I'll ask them once we are done with this UTM URL builder. Yeah.
All right. So again, how do we arrive at this page? This is what the page looks like.
All right.
So I go to Google, I type in URL builder Google, right? So I come on this link, and then it says right on top, URL builder, generate custom campaign parameters for your advertising URLs. So it gives you basically the entire steps, how to use it, but that is something, a DIY step for you. You can do it yourself. Let's actually go to the URL builder, you see. So I'll come here. There's something called URL builder form. That's the only part that we are concerned with while we're actually trying to create a URL. Right? So the step one was website URL. Which website I'm trying to track? Right? What is my company? What are we promoting in the email marketing campaign? Am I promoting snapdeal.com? Am I a marketeer on behalf of nichelife.com? Am I a campaign manager of tripadvisor.com? I will enter that company name. Let's say I'm doing it for TripAdvisor, right? TripAdvisor.com. This is a website URL. Now, what is the campaign source, right? Because it's a email marketing campaign, it will be a newsletter or a mailer, right? So let's say I enter here, it's a newsletter I'm sending. So the campaign source is pretty much standard for every campaign. It will be a newsletter or a mailer, depending on whatever language you're comfortable with, for all your email marketing campaigns. Now the medium is always going to be constant for email marketing campaigns. It will be email itself. The next step is the campaign term. We can skip that. We don't need to enter a campaign term for email marketing campaign. Next, the campaign content. So let me get into slightly more detail here. So URL builder helps you build multiple URLs, right? This is one URL I'm building for one of the links that I'm placing on my email marketing campaign. So on the mailer, if I have 3 links, I'll have to, come to this URL builder tool 3 times. I'll have to, restart the entire process 3 times. So I'll have to enter mailer, email, and then call to action 1, call to action 2, call to action 3, depending on which call to action I am entering the URL for. And the campaign name will be standard again, depending on what campaign I'm promoting. So here for TripAdvisor, I'm actually promoting New Year Eve's uh, holiday planning, right? So you can plan your New Year holiday. That is a campaign I'm promoting for uh, TripAdvisor, right? So the campaign name will be New Year holiday planning or New Year holidays or vacations, and I'll click on generate URL. I think Google does a fabulous job at interface every time, but somehow here they have missed out. The end result that you see after clicking on generate URL, it's actually grayed out slightly, so you might tend to miss it. Scroll slightly to the bottom of the page and you'll see the URL. This URL has to be copied from here and inserted into the tool, whichever email marketing tool you're using. If you're using a template from there, against the button you can enter this URL. If you're encoding it HTML, in the HTML, this has to be replaced with a URL which was placed there, which was not coded. This is an encoded URL. This has to replace the URL which did not have the code. I
Right.
hope
Yeah, right.
you got
Perfect. Because there was another question which was asked that after creating the URL link, what is the next action point to do we need to share the link with the IT team or what? So Abhishek, just to extend this question, can you just help us know that how do we integrate Google Analytics or this link with our website? I mean, is there any integration steps like we have to insert some code somewhere? Can you just help? Because I think this will then build all the gaps in between.
Sure. So yes, of course, when you create a Google Analytics account, you get a code from Google Analytics that has to be pasted throughout your website, but that has nothing to do with the URL builder. URL builder, first you create a URL and you enter it. So if your tech team is actually creating a emailer for you or encoding it for you, send it to them. Tell them for buy now button, use this URL. For subscribe now button, I've encoded it, use the URL too. And for no more button, probably you can use this URL. So you generate the URLs, send it to your IT team, and their job is just to insert the URL at the right place where we mentioned it. Right? If you are the creator, replace it yourselves in the HTML or the tool itself.
Right.
But one action item which you will have to do is create a Google Analytics account and paste the code on the website or the landing page.
Okay. So we have to get this done even before we have the email campaign set out.
Right.
Yeah. So there's one more question that can you had mentioned about macro conversion. So there's someone who wants to know a little bit more again about it. Can you explain macro conversion again? Is what he's asked.
Sure. I mean, macro is a fancy word I've used, honestly. Macro is nothing but your main conversion. What is the primary objective of the campaign? If I'm an e-commerce company, I'm sending it out to all my users. More often than not, my objective is to get a conversion or get a sale. So that is my main objective, or that is a macro conversion I'm looking at.
Okay. So yeah, there were similar questions like how do we use this URL and all that. So do we require to get some license from Google Incorporation to use URL Builder commercially?
Not at all. It's a free tool right there, just like Google search. We don't
Uh-huh.
need to get any license from Google. It's a free tool available. Use as much as we like. There's no license required from Google.
Okay. If bounce rate is under control and average session rate is also under control, but we are not getting any
Mhm.
conversion, in that case, what should we do?
I think uh, this depends a lot on your business line, right? There are a lot of reasons where conversion cannot happen, and then we don't need to think like a marketer. We need to start thinking like a user. We need to start thinking like a businessman. So let's say I'm a user. Uh, I clicked, went to the website. I researched. I didn't bounce off. I actually had a very good session time. I was there on the website for 7 minutes,
Mhm.
and I clicked on 25 pages, but I didn't convert. Now come back to the shoes of a businessman and see why is this user not converting? Is it because they didn't like my collection? Is it because what is my competition doing as against me? Are they running, giving a better price and offer? Is my website, broken in terms of the sale? The cart is not working properly, or have I given an offer code which is not working, or is it that my payment gateway is not working? So you need to look at the other aspects. You need to look at your side. We need to look at our side, that what is happening at our side for which the user is not able to buy because he's engaging with us, right? Think like you're going to a shop, you're going to Walmart and you're lost there. You're not able to find what you need, or you are actually not able to get a salesman to understand what this product price point is. You have mentioned 50% off everywhere, but I don't see a MRP there, right? So there could be multiple options. We need to start thinking that what is going wrong at our end for which the user is not buying.
Right, just to add a little bit to this, basically what Abhishek is trying to say is that we have to look at the content that we are dealing with. So the content that is being sent, the content that is there on the landing page or on the website, do we really need to relook at it? Is there something that needs to be changed? So that's what Abhishek is trying to tell us. So there is one more question which I'll take, like what are the number of call to actions that a mailer has to have? So typically not more than two is what I suggest to everyone. Because if not this, there is another option. So let's have it only two. It's easy and not too much of complication. So if someone receives an email, they know what exactly they have to look at. So I'll suggest that let's restrict it to two. This one question which says that how to integrate phone call campaigns to this, or also a TV or print media campaigns to this. So would you like to help us with this, Abhishek?
Sure, we can do that. See, honestly, there is no technology which can help us do that because print is not being tracked on Google Analytics. TV is being, tracked by all the, various TRP systems and stuff by these guys. And anything online is something which we can track to Google Analytics or online tools. We need to find other ways in which we can track. So, uh, let's say if you are giving an offer code in the newspaper, then give a unique offer code which you have not used anywhere else. So, anytime the offer code is used, you can actually see, how many times the offer has been used, the code has been applied, and you can know the success of the newspaper campaign or the TV campaign. Similarly, you can create a microsite and put it in the newspaper. Let's say if it is a lot of times we can see that it's not uh, experienceether.com. It could be that I have routed the URL to experience dot experienceether.com, and when people I see direct visits on this specific domain coming or subdomain coming, I can understand that yes, a lot of this traffic is from the newspaper or TV. But honestly, that is the world we live in, and that's why online advertising is becoming so successful, and you get direct results. You actually can track, the results or the visits, the traffic from online marketing. The offline channels do not give us as much detail, so we can only use unique phone numbers, unique codes, unique URLs to actually understand the absolute numbers in terms of performance of these channels. But there are softer aspects during the time during which we ran the TV campaign, during the time during which we ran the newspaper campaign. What is the incremental traffic? So we generally attribute our incremental traffic to these kind of other initiatives that we take.
Okay, there's one more question which talks about can we track apps download, that is conversion in Google Analytics through emailer?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can track
Okay.
app downloads as well. So there is a separate URL builder for the apps, and because you're familiar with the app section, as soon as you go to URL builder, within that page, you will actually get another option of create a URL for the app. Once you click on it, you can start creating a URL for the app, and you can track that as well.
Okay, that sounds good. There's another question which is not related to email marketing and Google Analytics, but more of Google Analytics. But I'll take it. How we should deal with not provided kind of sessions in analytics.
Uh, I think not provided it's a mass problem that a lot of people face. It depends on what is the percentage to the overall traffic. If you see it's very high, I think you should report it to Google, and they might come up with a specific troubleshooting step because it's a very broad and generic problem. You will actually need to deep dive and look at how much marketing budgets are being spent. Have we forgot to link Google AdWords and analytics? So is it because of that we're not able to track that? So I think there's a question which I think I would rather leave to Google
Okay.
experts to troubleshoot and come back to us. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So this one last question that I'll take for today's session, and lots of others. Friends, you can drop an email to either to me or to Abhishek. I've just displayed his email address also over here. There's one question which is been asked a couple of times by different attendees. Can we track SMS link campaign through Google Analytics? So nowadays, if you see Abhishek, there are lots of SMSs that are sent out which has a link to it. So people want to know that can that be tracked too?
See, in SMS, generally, what is used URL shortener. We can't actually put such long, URLs which is created through Google URL Builder, right? So now this URL shorteners is something you can create from Google itself has its own tool, Google URL shortener. So you can start using that URL shortener, but ultimately it's a redirect, right? It redirects to a web page that you created. So this URL shortener gives you a lot of data. So in case you're doing any SMS campaigns and try using a Google URL shortener, there are companies which provide these URL shortener options and they give a lot of data analytics. So of course it can be tracked.
Yes. That was really useful. There are lots of other questions. As I've said, friends, you can drop an email either to me or to Abhishek. And I'll come towards the end of this session. Abhishek, it really was wonderful to have you on our session today. Lots of information, and as I've said, a very complicated information in very simple way that was put forth in front of us. I'm sure it was a good learning for all of us. And audience, you all have been a very lovely audience, and thanks again, everyone. I'll end this session today. You all have a wonderful day, and thank you, Abhishek, once again.
Thank you. Thanks all.